On this video, I swap out my hardtop for a very budget-friendly soft top and move to a set of half doors just in time for summer. Now, when I picked up my used 2012 Jeep Wrangler JK, it only had the factory hardtop, which admittedly I was perfectly fine with. I would rather actually have a hardtop and have to buy a soft top, as it's much easier and cheaper to do so. The challenge was, when I knew I wanted to get a soft top, I didn't have any hardware to start off with, and I was basically starting from scratch. And that's how I ended up with the Bestop Ascent top. Now, this is Bestop's least expensive soft top option. It's a full top replacement for the Jeep Wrangler JK. It gives you that sort of cool slant back look, which I like, and it's pretty functional if you're going to be doing a lot of off-roading, as it takes out some of that body that you might hit in the rear. Now, the negative of this side is, yes, you have a window that has the slant, which means as soon as you unzip it, it's a bit difficult to get it out of the way, whether you can flop it onto the top or unzip it completely. It's one of those things that it's a give and a take. You still have plenty of room, at least I do, to get in and out of it, so you don't have to take this out as much. One of the things that I really wanted out of a top is the ability to have essentially a bikini top to keep the kids out of the sun, and something that I could remove the back windows to give us a more open air feel. I also knew I was going to be pairing it with a set of soft lower half doors, which I'll talk a little bit more about later. Now, installing this top is pretty easy. Matter of fact, even filming it, I think it only took me about 2.5 hours. There's really not much to it. Bestop actually does a fantastic job of walking you through the installation. So if you have any questions, I'm going to put a link here on the screen to their install video, so I don't really have to walk you through the step-by-step of it. The only thing that you need to be cautious of, or at least be aware of, is you do have to cut into the foam padding that's around the factory sport bar in the Jeep. It's probably my least favorite aspect of the top, that you've got to cut into it. A lot of tops you have to do that. I wish there was a different way, but they reuse a lot of the factory hardware, and to access that, you've got to cut a small slit into the actual coverings to do that. This back window configuration uses zippers just at the very back, let's call it window, and the rest of it just kind of snaps and rolls in, so it's really easy to remove everything. Now, this does have the Sunrider feature, so you can quickly fold back this front panel, and the driver and passenger have that great open air feel. Unfortunately, it does not extend back for the rear passenger, so you're not going to be able to take this thing all the way back for the people in the back to look up as well. Now, for me and our kids, they tend to last a bit longer on the trail and have a better experience if they got some shade covering them. So that really wasn't a huge selling point or detractor for myself. So let's talk a little bit about on-road driving and sort of some of your expectations that I think you got to manage when you have a less expensive top, and what are some of the big differences. So this is more of an entry-level soft top, and one of the things that I think you trade off on is insulation and really noise reduction. So this is a single layer of material, and when you get to the more expensive premium tops, you're going to have multiple layers of material, and that helps in two ways. It definitely helps with sound deadening, and it helps with that heat insulation. So you don't really have a lot right now keeping that heat out, and especially during the summertime, you'll feel more of that radiant heat, and it's fine with the air conditioner on. It's not like the Jeep can't handle it, but you're going to find that you are going to crank up your AC more, and during the wintertime, if you want to keep your soft top on and you have a single layer, you're definitely going to be cranking the heat more because you just have less insulation in the vehicle. So there is a reason that some of the more expensive tops are more expensive. You're getting more out of it. Now, it's worth noting in terms of like wind noise, I've had a handful of these different Trek tops from Bestop, and the more premium ones, because of the added insulation, are a little quieter. But that being said, this one's really not that loud. It's got really good fit and finish overall. Honestly, the tires are so loud on this Jeep that that's really what you hear more than anything. This is a 37 by 1350 R17 Nitto Mud Grappler, and it's a great performing tire, but we jokingly refer to it as the noise grappler because it is a very loud tire at interstate speed. So the inside of the cab does get louder the faster you go, but part of that is because of these tires. in terms of leaking, the biggest challenge I've always had with whether it's a hard top or soft top is leaking at the back tailgate. I found that when I've washed this, I've definitely seen water creep in from the tailgate bar, but it's hard to say if that's just from me pressure washing it really hard. In terms of overall rain, I haven't seen it leak, or haven't had an issue with that. Nothing around the A-pillar. I haven't come in and seen the floorboards be wet or anything like that. That's typically not that big of a problem with the soft top. I've actually had more of a challenge keeping the hard top from leaking than I have anything else. Those things typically will drip right down onto the shifter, or they'll leak down, or you'll get it into the floorboards. The soft tops, in my experience with the JK platform, have actually always sealed better than the hard tops, which is so weird. But overall, I think this is still a perfectly fine daily driver top. I think for my needs for summertime and wheeling and stuff like that, it's absolutely perfect. Again, with the full doors on and the soft top, it doesn't make a ton of noise. The only thing that's obnoxious about having the slant back style top is the same obnoxiousness that if it was like a square back soft top, is you're constantly having to unzip the window to get stuff in and out. It's just not as convenient for a daily driver. Yeah, the hard top's always going to win out, or you can spend a good bit more money, almost triple the money really, and get one of the hybrid series top with the glass in the back. Great option if you don't have a hard top and you want that year-round soft top convenient. But for me, I know I'm going to go back to the hard top come this winter time. This is just a fantastic solution to have a good wheeling top, and something that isn't super expensive but still looks really nice on the Jeep, still has great Bestop quality, fit and finish and all that stuff. So I do want to talk quickly about half doors, why I like these particular half doors, and some things to note if you want to replicate this setup. So these are Bestop soft lowers. It's a black diamond material, and you won't find these on their website. It's not that they're super special, it's just when you want to buy a soft door for the JK, Bestop sells it as an upper and lower on their website. And I didn't need the upper. I wasn't going to be daily driving with the upper, so I said, I wonder if I can just get a lower. And what I learned is if you call customer service, they'll absolutely sell you just the lower. And these are actually different than that configuration. How so? They don't have any Velcro right here that you would have on the upper and lower. And when you open the door, there's no poles, there's no accommodations for that upper window. So it is a unique door. It is a black diamond material. It's going to match this particular top very well. And why I really like Bestop lowers over some of the others on the market is they're very easy to store. And not only is that important for like at home, but realistically, if you're going to be going out of town and you're like me and you want to drive out of town with the comfort of your full doors on so everybody's comfortable inside of the vehicle, these will fit in the back of a four-door JK very easily, and you can still have room for all your gear. You get to the place where you're going, you can pull your full doors off, toss these things on here, and suddenly your kids window and opening goes from way up here to down here, and there's just so much more visibility, and it's so much more enjoyable, in my opinion, from a wheeling experience, to be able to have that little bit of added protection but extra sort of visibility that the belt line. I know there's a lot of people that say just pull the whole door off. My mentality is I'm fine with that if it's just me. If I have the kids, I would rather have a little bit of sun protection for them and a little bit of added just debris protection. So that's why I like the soft doors for going to the beach, driving around. If I've got the kiddos with me, I would rather have at least a lower on. I just feel a little bit better about that. I mean, it's not like these things are going to take big rock damage and protect them that way, but at least I got a little something from debris. These tires and wheels stick out pretty far on this JK, so it definitely slings a good bit of stuff, and this adds a little bit of protection from that. A couple things worth noting: they do make a little bit of a noise from where the striker rattles. I will say an easy way to fix that: just take a bit of electrical tape, wrap it around the striker. It will calm that noise down a good bit. Other thing worth noting, you probably see I don't have a mirror on here. These don't have straps, so they will sling all the way open. Thankfully, these wheels have 3.5 inches of back spacing with that big nitto. It hits the tire before it hits typically anything else. So you're gonna wanna put a mirror somewhere else and not on this. Again, if you're like me and you're gonna be taking these things places with you, I wouldn't put a mirror on here anyways, because you wanna have the ability to store these things as tightly as possible. So this is just a good option in my opinion if you're wanting a inexpensive half door that's easy to store, take with you and that sort of thing. I really like the soft lowers. They don't weigh anything. It's just a fun, simple solution for having a half door with a little bit of protection. Well, that's it for this video. If you have any questions, just drop them in the comments. I'm definitely enjoying this JK project and I hope you guys are too. If you want to see some stuff I'm working on behind the scenes, you can check me out at all social media at Ollie Mansour Editor. Definitely got more things on this Jeep that's coming to the channel very soon. So please be sure to like, subscribe, and do all that good stuff if you want to come on this build journey. As always, thank you for watching and I hope to see you on the trail. Take care.